Hey everybody, how are y'all doing today? Hope you're doing well. I wanted to give a few little updates for Influence AI and what's really going on behind the scenes, as well as give you a sneak peek under the hood as far as what it actually looks like to use the platform. Now this is just a little one-on-one kind of live stream where I can talk fairly candidly. This isn't really a high level production video. It's just something for people who are generally interested in using the software to elevate themselves in the social media world and to accrue a large number of followers while still being able to save the time that they had in their days. So, with that said, the first thing that I just want to mention, right, is that a lot of times what happens with companies is that you think to yourself, how can I create a great idea? How can I create a great company? And then people will extrapolate on that, and they'll do it. And a lot of times it's really not the way to go about problem solving in entrepreneurship and starting a company. So a great example of that, they call them tar pit ideas, is that maybe you're in college and you say, well, all of my friends would like to go and hang out together. There's not a really good sounding board, or there's not a good post board for our friends to be able to see where we're all going to hang out. We're going to create an app where people can hang out together. That is an idea that hundreds, maybe even thousands of entrepreneurs have tried and failed at, because it sounds like a good idea and it sounds like some revolutionary thing that's going to get everyone to follow it and do it, but there's not a real problem there, right? The truth is that if you want to hang out with your friends, you can just text them, you know. And if you're trying to meet new people, you're probably just going to go out somewhere and introduce yourself to new people if that's really the goal. So there's ideas where you're trying to create a problem to then solve it, and that's not really the way that Influence was built. Influence is built by someone who had a problem, and they said, "I'd really like this problem to be, you know, uh, rectified. I'd really like to be able to solve this problem." And how do I go about that? Well, let's look at the tools that are out there nowadays and how can we connect those tools together. So I mean to say that because right now there are a lot of companies out in the AI world that are just popping up everywhere. And they're really, it's not frustrating, I don't want to say, but it's really, really odd to see these companies pop up and solve problems that no one knew they ever had because they never actually had them. So I've been seeing people will send me different platforms and they'll say, is this similar to Influence AI? This is your competition. These are people that are already doing it. And the truth is that I haven't seen any company out there that's doing what Influence AI is doing, right? At all. Um, Influence AI is a direct to market content generation platform, right? Um, what the vision for Influence AI, really the mission for the company, is to be able to allow influencers to post consistent content at a volume that would only be achieved by either spending 8 hours a day creating content or having teams of people creating the content, and do it in a fraction of that time that would have been allotted, those man hours that would have been allotted to the task. So on any great creator influencer, you have 6 different platforms that you're posting on. That'll completely change. This is tip number one for those of you who are content creators and haven't gotten to 100,000 followers. Um, if you haven't gotten there, you want to be on 6 different platforms, right? And the reason why is because when you have multiple different platforms, you're able to cross pollinate, for lack of better words, right? So you have a fan who's a diehard fan on TikTok, and you have a different fan that's a diehard fan on Instagram. And now you're saying to yourself, well, why don't I just do a video on TikTok that says results in Instagram and post the result in the Instagram and say, if you want to see how I got these results, check out my video on TikTok. And then those fans will cross over. And now instead of having 50 followers on TikTok and 50 followers on Instagram, you end up having 100 followers on both. And so that multiplied by 6, right? Or I guess 3 to make 6. So you have 6 different platforms that are all connecting together. But you have to have a lot of time and you have to a lot of energy to be able to do that. And I know this because I used to be a content creator, and I still am a content creator, to be completely honest. I mean, I'm making content right now. But I got to a point where while I was in a bit of a music career, I got to a point where I had over 100,000 followers across my platforms, and I did really, really well on short form video content. And so, with that said, I wanted to also aid the people that were doing short form video content. Now, the technology isn't quite there, but it is very, very close. It's very, very close. First, I just want to peel back, go to 10,000 feet above where we're at today, and talk about what we're seeing for creators in what we want to have seen for creators. So, what we're seeing for creators is I stopped doing pretty much any social media for about 2 years, 2 entire years. I stopped doing almost any social media, and I started a career in commercial real estate. And the thing is that in commercial real estate, I would leave at 7 o'clock on the dot, and on the early days of commercial real estate, I actually left far before that. But nowadays, I wake up at 7 o'clock. I'm out the door at 7 o'clock, and I'm gone all day, and I get home at about 6:45, 7 o'clock, right? And so I'm out for 12 hours. And a lot of those hours are very intentional when it comes to my job, right? And so if I'm working a 12-hour day, it's very, very hard to come home and get home at 6:45 or 7 o'clock and say, you know what I'm going to do right now? I'm going to create content. And it's particularly hard because I look on, other platforms, because it's easy to get on social media. It's hard to create, right? So I get on these social media platforms and I see these people who aren't in my industry, but I follow this guy who sells jets, right? And he creates tons of content. What he'll tell his followers is, you have to get on social media. I've had more sales from social media than anything else in the world. And then I see this other guy who does residential real estate, and I really like these guys. And this guy says you have to get on social media. So I've made more house sales off social media than I have anything else in the world. And I look at myself and I say, I'm working 12 hours a day. How do I have time to post on social media? Not to mention, when you work for a commercial real estate firm that's as actively involved in your success as you could possibly imagine, there's always someone looking over your shoulder. So you don't really have the capacity while at work to create content. And if you do, it's considered a waste of time and you kind of get berated for it. So I thought to myself, how many other people are also experiencing this, right? And so I said, really, I wouldn't mind creating content if it were just like a 5-minute process, but I did it and I had 100,000 followers. And the truth is, it's not a 5-minute process. It is a freaking 8-hour process if you really want to get out there. And it's very, very hard. And you have to post multiple times a day. And we're in an era where we have so much content going out. If you're not posting multiple times a day on each of your 6 platforms, you're probably not going to get a following. People just are going to see that you're not active enough, and people are really wanting to have content constantly. And if you're not posting all the time, it's almost like, what's the point, right? Why would I hit follow if I don't know when you're going to post next? And so I said to myself, if it were 5 minutes of my time to be able to post multiple times a day on all 6 platforms, I'd do it. And so I said, what would that look like, right? And I started coming up with this idea, and I pitched the idea to a bunch of business owners, and I kind of got destroyed for it because it really hadn't evolved to that point, to where I could articulate it really. And so I talked to this one, former IBM software developer who now has her own company that does software development. And she said, that's a really good idea. And he said, well, you know what? I can't afford your services. I appreciate you for saying this, but I can't put time and money into this right now. And she said, no, you misunderstood. I want to partner up with you on this. I want to actually do this with you. And I said, well, that's really interesting. Someone thought that this was an interesting enough idea to where they actually wanted to invest time and energy developing out this product. And so she became my first partner on this venture. And we're partners right now, and we're working on it. But it started to evolve and started to really ask, what would this look like in a perfect world? And me being a content creator and someone who has this very specific pain point, I said, it would be the best case scenario if I were going to make a post about commercial real estate, I could just type in a prompt and say, write out a script and then put together a video about commercial real estate using my voice. So we said, okay. So I went over to this platform called Descript, and I trained it with my vocals. I gave it 30 minutes of my vocals because I do a podcast, right? So I do a podcast and it's got 30 minutes of my vocals, and I give it a script to read off of my vocals, and it sounds just like me. I mean, it sounds very, very, very close to just like me. There's some little hiccups in it where it's almost like, was that a robot, right? But it sounds very, very close. And so the technology is right at the cusp. It's almost there. But I said to myself, wow, that's really impressive. And what's even more impressive is that the video footage that I had put together, I typed into a prompt. I said, create video footage for commercial real estate and this. And it created the video footage for me. And I thought it was even more impressive because how I got there was I went to ChatGPT and I said, create a script to describe these images that I wanted to go through and generate so that I can put this in and create a video for it. And so ChatGPT wrote out the script for it. And it wrote out not just the script, but the image side of it as well. So it said what my mechanical voice was going to do, but also what the images were going to do. And I took this product and I said, this is actually really amazing. Now I had to do a lot of it manually, but I just about created a video without doing anything. I didn't create any of the images. I didn't create the storyline. I didn't create the voice. I trained it with my vocals, but it, artificially created my voice for me. And I just kind of tied all these little pieces together. And so I showed it to my partner at the time, and the video wasn't a good video, mind you, right? It was just impressive that it happened. I showed it to my partner, and she said, "This is really, really cool. Let's really dig into this." So that would be what the perfect world looks like if we could just have a platform that someone could have signed in on. There's a monthly subscription because it's going to cost a lot of money to have that kind of connection between the APIs and the platforms. And you type in a prompt and you say, you know what, I really like Star Wars. Or maybe I don't like Star Wars. Maybe I'm a huge fan of, NBC or CBS or Fox News. And I'm just kind of like an outlet for news that I really care about in that sector. Or maybe not even news. Maybe I really like Elon Musk and I just like to talk about the technology that happens. Well, in a perfect world, you would type in your prompt and you would say, create a post about the latest update for Elon Musk and extrapolate on what we're hoping to see for these updates in the tech world. And then it would create a video, and that video would have their voice, the creator's voice. It would have the images to support it. It would have a script that was well thought out and designed. It would have hooks better than any person could do the hooks because it has an enormous amount of data. It has the hashtags where the hashtags are supposed to be. It has the description for the video to be extremely engaging. And not only that, but it posts it to TikTok right away, right? And it also posts it to YouTube Shorts. And it also posts it to Instagram Reels. And then it has an image with the description of the video and where to find it, right? And that posts to the Instagram grid feed, right? And you have a really short summary of what happened, maybe in bullet point form, that goes to Threads and it goes to X/Twitter, right? And so it automatically does it in this 8-hour endeavor of wanting to post at least twice a day on 6 different platforms happens in 5 minutes. And the only thing you need to do is type in the prompt, review the work, and hit post. That is the vision. And that's the vision that we started to really come up with. And so we said, what's the step to get there, right? What's the step that we would need to take to be able to get there? And really, the truth is that's really complicated. What if we did it with just image generation? And so we said, okay, that's really cool. We have Midjourney, we have Dolly, we have a lot of these image generation platforms that can do this. I think this is possible. I think this is really possible. And so we started really thinking about that. We said, okay, well, this is This is going to cost probably about $50,000 in development, truthfully. Um, what if, maybe even more, right? But what would be the step to get to here, right? To the image generation. We said, okay, well, let's just take a little bite of this market, of this pie, and let's not try to do the whole thing at once. Let's focus on people who have Twitter presence, Twitter X presence, or people who want a Twitter/X presence. And let's create a platform where people can type in a prompt and immediately generate images, not images, excuse me, text that is extremely applicable to their brand, with their tone, with hashtags that support what their audience is looking up. And then on top of that, content that is relevant to the people that have it. So if we're going back, we're peeling back to the former example, we have Tesla, and Tesla updates, right? For this content creator that really likes to stay in tune with the technology world. And they say, create a Twitter/X post that highlights what's going on with Tesla right now and what's the newest update. And it creates a few different ideas, a few different posts, kind of inspire the creator to be able to then post on their social media. And so we said this is the starting point. This is where we kick this off. This is where we can add value to people and be able to understand whether it's just me who's interested in this kind of product, or maybe it's everybody. And so we said this is what we're going to do, and we're going to go all in. And we hired a few different guys, and gave them a little bit of equity, and then we ended up hiring another guy named Michael, and some of the guys didn't work out, and I had to let them go, and then other ones, they really shine through. And so we've been developing this out right now, and currently what we're seeing is, going back to my initial not frustration, but what I find odd about the AI machine learning industry right now and all these startups is, we're seeing competition pop up, and they really miss the mark. And it's really interesting to see that people don't really get it, right? And I saw my co-founder sent me a platform recently that did text generation for Twitter. No one's really doing image generation like we're talking about. Especially no one's doing video generation. But they sent me that platform, and I took this platform that posts directly to Twitter X, and I looked at it, and basically it created a post that supported that number of characters and had the hashtags. And then at the end of it all, it had a little button that said copy so that you can paste it. And I said, what was the point then? You could just go to ChatGPT. And it doesn't make sense to me that you would have a platform where you're not going direct to the audience. And that is where Adobe Premiere has absolutely failed as a company. If I were running Adobe, I would have connected all of the dots and said, YouTube, most of our creators that use our platform are posting to your platform with your audiences. This is Adobe talking to YouTube. We would really like, not the integration that we have right now, we would really like it to be better than what we have right now. And we like it to be married to the point where you're creating content and you're automatically posting it. And as the technology evolves, we like it to be more and more automated. And Adobe's becoming more and more automated, but it's still this old, clunky, Craigslist style video editing software. I'm talking specifically about Adobe Premiere Pro, but also Adobe Photoshop's like this. It looks like it was created when Craigslist was built, and it looks like it hasn't changed. And the reason why is because it's such a robust platform. People see it as the foundation for being able to edit photos and videos. But it is such a clunky platform. It's frustrating to see content creators start using it and say, you know what, it's going to take me 2 years to get proficient at this. I don't have the time for this, And so they've really, really failed the artists and the singers and, the news feed update people that don't have a team of people, that don't have 8 hours in a day. They failed them, and that they can't seem to get it right. And I think that that's why platforms like CapCut have come in and just absolutely dominated Premiere Pro. People are using CapCut for everything. Even I use CapCut, and it just makes sense, and it's free. It's free, and it makes you want to buy the monthly subscription because the add-ons are so good. But it's just it really doesn't make sense to me why Adobe has been, the cash cow that's refusing to iterate, to innovate to the point that it really needs to. And so we're seeing some changes in that field, and we're seeing some updates, just not at the level that we should have seen already. And so that's what Influence is doing. Influence is a direct to market, direct to social media uh, content generation platform for creators to maximize the volume of content, the volume of quality content that they can create while minimizing the amount of time that they spend. You get your freedom and you get your fame all in one. And this is a platform that even Influence is going to use on their social media platforms. This is a platform that even I'm going to use on my social media platforms because it's such a valuable aid. And I can't stress how incredibly important it is for people to understand this concept that you can't just have a platform that's hard to use. You can't just have a platform that you copy and then you have to go in and you have to paste it. And you can't have a platform that is so large in the tools that you get lost and have to spend 2 years learning it. It's just those times are gone. You have to be able to step up to the plate and create a platform that people really care about and that people really find easy to use. It's the analogy I used recently with Michael, one of our software developers, but it's the same as when IBM had computers that were the size of this room right here, and companies were using them. But the problem was, is you had millions of people that wanted a computer in their home. They were just so big and clunky and hard to understand and difficult to learn, and took a long time to be able. You had to be an enthusiast to be able to learn it. And then the Apple computer came out. It was the first real personal computer that was out, at a mass scale. And the Apple II came out, completely changed the game. That's what we're seeing right now. And the AI wave has enabled companies like Influence to be able to step up to the plate and say, we're not going to have it anymore. We're not going to take it from the corporate suits. We're going to, rip the content generation industry up from its roots, and we're going to cut off all the fat. It's not going to be something that is hard to use. It's not going to be something that takes 2 years to learn. And it's not going to be something that you have to have terabytes of storage to be able to manage all the data. No, we're going to manage the data. You're going to be able to just immediately post. You're going to be able to schedule and do all the things that other content generation, social media management platforms are going to be able to do. And then we're going to be better. So that is Influence AI. That is the problem that we're seeing. That's the overview of the market, the 10,000 feet in the air, and then the nitty gritty of what's going on in the trenches and what the issues are. I'm for the next 7 minutes, 5 minutes or so. I want to give you an update on what the platform looks like, if I can, and show you a little bit of what we're really seeing. To be honest, I've never done this before, and so I'm going to see if I can. You know what? I don't think I can. I think that's going to have to be a future video. But I am excited to show you guys what that looks like. It's a great platform, and the development is actually ahead of schedule right now. So if you go to influence.ai, you can you can actually. I'm going to put it in the chat so you have it. But if you go to influence.ai, you can actually go to the landing page and you can sign up for the updates. And if you're interested in being a beta tester, you can always email us at team@influence.ai. And you can be one of the first people to actually use it. And we'll let you use it for free. In fact, pre-launch, anyone who wants to use the product, I'm going to give access to for 6 months free. And really, the only thing that I would ask is that you give feedback on what you think you like and what you think that you hate. So influence.ai is our current landing page. What we have right now is the design that's fleshed out. Now, this is, of course, the image the text generation side of our content. This is phase one of the 3 developments: text, image, video. And in 69 days now, you're going to be able to go to the platform. You're going to be able to sign up, and you're going to be able to type in a prompt that creates a great post for whatever audience that you specifically cater to, or you'd like to eventually cater to, and you're going to be able to post it directly to Twitter. And that's our promise. And directly following that, we're going to do 3-month or quarter sprints. And every quarter, we're going to be innovating. And in 12 months from now, we will have video content generation nailed down. And we're going to have it to the point where people are going to be able to go in, and you're going to be able to type in a prompt, and it's going to be able to create a video for you. You're going to be able to create an image. You're going to be able to create a text, and it's going to go out to all 6 or more of the platforms that you utilize. So that's right now where we're at, is phase one. We're ahead of schedule on our development. The user interface looks amazing. We've got 0-to-1 integration, which means that you can sign in with Google now. We are going to require your phone number, just so that as we kind of grow and we have the free trial phase, you can't just make a ton of free trial accounts and continue to rack up our bill. But we're going to have phone number integration. We're going to have email support that I will personally be overseeing and making sure that we get, answers back to people who have questions. And if you're interested in being able to test the product at a beta level, we'd really like you to be a part of that. We'd really like you to be a part of the this next wave of content creation and supporting creators who really have great work, and even creators that aren't just generating, content from thin air. Even artists who want to post, and they don't really know how to edit their photos and create great descriptions. Even artists that do videos about their paintings. Right, artist is an easy one, but videos who do videos about their paintings, you're going to be able to put it in there, and it's going to immediately edit the video. It's going to have your captions already there, and you can pick the style that you want of your captions, and you can pick the styles of how the video unfolds and changes, and you can get in and you can do all the nitty gritty if you'd like. But if you'd like for it to be automated, or maybe you've never done social media and you're not really interested in being a social media expert, you're interested in being an expert at whatever your craft is. And if you're an artist, that would be that. Then you could just use our platform, and we'll use the mass amount of data that we can see is the most effective for videos for an artist, for example, and be able to edit it in the best way possible with data that's, is more than any human could have. And then you're going to be able to post content that is at the level or better than teams of people in the marketing industry that are on social media right now doing big brand products. You're going to be able to do better than them, because the amount of data that we're going to have is going to be just insurmountable, and it'll be supporting your creations. So that's what we really want to do. That's our vision. And I hope you can be a part of it. I hope you can really get excited about it. And if you're not excited about it, if you're skeptical, then it might not be for you. It might not be a product that you're really a good fit for, because it's not going to be a fit for everyone. We really want content creators that are passionate about getting to their audiences, that are passionate about keeping up with their people and continually giving updates to the people that they care about, which are their fans. And so if you are excited about it, conversely, if you are really passionate about content creation, and you really love what we're doing, and you like the idea of being able to post large amount of quality content in a short amount of time, being able to give you the following, but also the freedom, then check us out. Then subscribe for the launch. Email me if you want to see the beta. And we really look forward to being able to work with all of you guys in the coming weeks, the coming months, and the coming years. So with that, my name is Tom Land. I am the CEO of Influenx AI, and I'm very excited to be on this journey with you guys. Y'all take care.